It's always the same, honestly. There is no exception. Toxicity, malnutrition, stagnation, trauma. Those are the legs on which this dysfunction stands.
There's another one here that I thought was interesting that, I'm trying to look for stuff so we're not saying the same thing over and over again. Anybody have trouble swallowing? And two people replied. One said yes all the time. And then another one said, I'm having an upper GI endoscopy this month. I'm finding that food is getting stuck more frequently or going down on its own when I'm still chewing. I had to perform the Heimlich maneuver on myself last year because my airway was completely blocked with a piece of food I was eating. And then someone else says it's common for people with fibro, like you need extra lubrication to get foods down, or it just sits in the throat and wants to come back up rather than go down. Lots of people get some type of treatment to stretch the esophagus, which is meant to help. And then one other person said, yes, it's as if my body forgets the whole swallowing process. I seem to be able to chug a drink fast, but not keep the food inside my mouth a while. I cannot eat meat hardly. If I hold liquid in my mouth for long periods, I cannot swallow it. The doctor said it was trauma from my mom passing. That was in 2019, and I'm still having the same issues now.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So yes, swallowing reflex is one of the problems that people will have. Let me try it this way. There is a genetic condition. It's called Ehlers Danlos syndrome, EDS. Ehlers is spelled E-H-L-E-R-S. Ehlers Danlos, D-A-N-L-O-S syndrome. Syndromes are usually made by the guys who describe it, guys, gals, whoever, the people. So they get their name on it and they're famous for the rest of their life. Another famous one is Hashimoto, and another famous one is Alzheimer. Those are syndromes named after the people who described it. Anyway, Ehlers Danlos syndrome is an illness of the connective tissue of the general integrity. People with EDS have hypermobility in their joints. These people can take their thumb and bring it all the way to here. I don't have that.
Yeah, I can't.
No, but they can take their elbow and extend the elbow where the arm is, the elbow is past this. They can hyperextend their knees. They go past straight. They are super flexible in their spine. Most contortionists are genetically pre-selected for EDS. Anyway, many problems with it, associated with it. They are more likely to have an inflammatory problem in their body. They're more likely to be having connective tissues issues, fibromyalgia, and all of the symptoms that go with it. Like the Venn diagram of fibromyalgia and EDS would probably be almost an ellipse, right? Like mostly the same. So what to do for this person? Well, it's always the same, honestly. There is no exception. Toxicity, malnutrition, stagnation, trauma. Those are the legs on which this dysfunction stands. So you have your genetics that loads the gun. The epigenetics of it pulls the trigger. And the epigenetics are in your control. The genetics, they have happened long ago when your mommy and daddy got together back when.
Right.
The epigenetics, that's now. And you need to detox the body so that there are fewer blocking factors that are impeding the normal expression of the homeostatic system to keep you well. the crutches, the direct crutches, I would say zeolite is super important. The gut health is super important. The integrity of your inner terrain. So iodine is super important because it helps with the strength of the mucosal barrier resilience. Other mucosal supporters, arabinogalactan, large powder. And then, what else would I go with? Free-form amino acids. It's this. When your gut isn't right, you're not decomposing proteins into aminos correctly. And so you now have allergic reactions to a lot of stuff. And in order to build any tissue well, you need to have aminos. And if your body is not decomposing proteins right, you don't have access to the aminos. So we need to get the aminos into you. So we have it in capsules and we have it in powder. In capsules, it's called DOX aminos. DOX is in doctor, DOX aminos. In powder, we call them feraminos, THER aminos. You get twice as much for your money using the Theraminos relative to the capsules. Yeah. That would be the most important things. Okay. Detox, humic acid, microbes, probiotics, keep the histamine levels down. I mean, there's just so much. Like I could go for about 3 hours listing all of the possible gotchas and all the possible ways how to prevent that. But the big picture is known. Deal with toxicity and undo all that. Deal with malnutrition and fix all that. Get some movement. If you do have a limitation, you need to get at least a rebounder bouncing. And if you can't even do that, then get one of the vibrating plates. If you're in a wheelchair, get one that's flat and big enough that you could put the wheelchair on it or any chair on it so that you get the vertical movement up, down. And it doesn't have to be too far up and it needs to be slow enough. It should not be more than 5 or 6 cycles per second. So if you can, the 20 or 25, if you can hear the sound of it, like, that's too fast. It has to be slower than that.